Good morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. Okay. I came back to the model table last night for quite a while, and I have finished step 7. Yeah, we're going to turn the page here pretty soon. Now, this morning, for some reason, well, first of all, I woke up around 4 o'clock, maybe a little before, got up at 4:30. Haven't done anything until right now here. I had lots of time, didn't I? Yeah. But I'm a little bit cross this morning, and I don't know why I'm cross. I've got, you might say, a bee in my bonnet. And I don't know why I've got a bee in my bonnet. Now, speaking of bonnets, one of the viewers said that he thought that possibly if I was to mess around with the semi-gloss clear, I might end up making it worse than it already is. And then I realized I've got a brand new clear. So I don't know, maybe I will go ahead and spray this. We'll see what happens. Okay, we talked about the bike helmet. The Christmas lights are still out. Yeah. And Christmas is well over. And I know when I was a kid at home, the Christmas tree used to come down New Year's Day. I think we did that for quite a while. Yeah, put it up a couple of weeks before Christmas and take it down New Year's Day, or thereabouts. But here in Winnipeg, I think that the last of the, you might say, superstitious persuasions, I think, are over on around the 8th. So I just sort of want to try and cover everybody. I guess if that didn't come out quite right, I guess, because if I care about everybody, I wouldn't have offended them by saying superstitious persuasions. But when you think about it, that's what they are. including mine. Anyway, yeah, let's recompose here and get going. Sunrise? No. No, we're not going to have a sunrise to look at today. Too cloudy. Now, at least one viewer said, why don't you get your lumber delivered? And I replied back to the effect of that if I order, say, 10 2x4s online, I'm scared of what I'm going to get. You know, I'm sort of thinking to myself, they're going to think now's our chance to get rid of all that waning lumber that nobody wants. You know, I'm sort of afraid that as I replied back that I'm going to get a pile of what looks like old wooden airplane propellers, you know, twisted. And well, maybe not, but yeah, I think it's only about $40-50 extra, and you get it delivered to the house. I shouldn't say only. Yeah, I like the idea of being able to go and pick my own, you know, and look down the 2x4 and see what it looks like. Because I don't think they're going to, unless they're like at Superstore where they say that the pickers, they pick your groceries, pick as though they were getting it for themselves or for their mother or something. I don't know, something like this. I don't know if the lumber pickers really care or they just take them as they come off of the pallet. And the thing of it is, if it gets here and you've already paid for it online and it's a bunch of junk that you're going to wonder how can I use that? How do you give it back to them? You know. So I don't know. I guess I could try it once, and if it worked, good. And if it didn't, well, I never do it again. But it could turn out to be a kind of an expensive mistake because 2x4s here in Winnipeg, they used to be dirt cheap. You know. It wasn't that long ago. 2x4s were like 49 cents a piece for the 7'9", the studding, and and now I think I need full 8-foots. So I think we're looking at around $4 a piece, something like that. Yeah. And then so 10 of them is $40, another $50 to get it delivered for a bunch of kindling. I don't know. Or firewood. I haven't used my fireplace. I think the last time I used my fireplace was when I made the fireplace movie. You know, where the guy keeps putting the log. What is it called? The Yule log. I actually made my own, and I think mine is a lot better than some that you see on the internet. So I didn't watch it this year. In fact, I haven't watched it for quite a while. There's music with it, and the music that's with it is kind of haunting. And I suppose I could change the music too, but the music is kind of haunting to me in that my dear wife Mary listened to that several times the last year or two of her life. And so when I hear that music, I associate it with that sort of a sad time, you know. Well, I guess that was not a very smart thing to start talking about. All right, let's get back to this. I have no rollback because I didn't have record pressed when I was doing this, but we will recompose here, and I'll show you what I did, and then we'll turn the page. Now this is the one that we had made from step number 6. It's mirror image. And we're going to try and make one more torpedo tube with the door open. The one that will be on the far side, and we'll be able to see the torpedo sticking out. As I've said before, that's the plan. Now I'm thinking that I might take our 338 here and give it another touch. It just didn't come out quite the way I'd hoped. Remember, I took the Windex and cleaned off that blob of paint there where it had run, and I'm sort of wondering about the stuff that I've been adding. Oh, what's it called? Paint retarder. Okay, yeah, I'm wondering about the paint retarder in that it seems to make the paint not be as flat as it normally would. Now, that's another thing that I'm noticing about these model. Oh, here we go again. I had to turn around and look. Mr. Hobby Paints. To me, I have no problem remembering the name of it, but the Mr. Hobby is that they do not seem to be as flat as the flat Tamiya. So I've got sort of a gloss thing going on there. Now, mind you, this is going to be down on the bottom anyway, and there's going to be a platform on this ledge right here. That's where those 4 loose torpedoes go. But I'm kind of curious to see if I just maybe can sort of fix that. Okay. Yeah. Now I was going to turn the page here, and then I realized that I should maybe mention here that some of the small components like the pipe work and so on went on better than step 6, and some of the pieces did not go on well. I don't know why I'm showing you the not go on well, but this one did not line up properly. It's kind of disappointing, but at the angle we're going to be viewing it from, I don't think we're going to notice that anyway. Okay. All right. Step 8. Okay, I've got our 338 here. Just going to brush this off a little bit. Just noticing there was... I picked a piece of dust off of it earlier. I don't know why the stuff gets so dirty. Okay, so let's just not put it on real thick. Just put it on. I guess this isn't really dry brushing, but just give it a nice little second coat here. I think when this dries, it'll be a little bit more uniform. Okay. Does it look like I got everywhere? I think so. Up here you can't see it, but I'm just doing a little bit up here too. Okay, we'll leave that. Okay, this is basically dry now, and let's see if we can get it to reflect in the light here. It just sort of seems that there's a glossiness going on that shouldn't be there. Okay, we are going to be making tube C, and okay, it's obviously not this one because this one has the 4 marks, and we need C would have 3, A, B, C. So yeah, there we go. So this is tube C. May as well put it the right way that it's supposed to go. And I perused ahead a little bit a moment ago, and this tube is another one of those that if we have the door open, the door is going to block the view of the end of the torpedo. So we could probably, oh, I got to clean up my parts yet. Oh, okay. Well, while I'm doing that, I'll think about what I'm going to do, but I'm going to have the door open and have the torpedo backed out of the tube about, an inch or so. But that wouldn't be realistic because I don't think in the submarine they'd have that. I can see where they might have the door open, and yet, yeah. I wonder when they have the back door open, what keeps the water from rushing in the front? Is there another sort of a flap that would go over it? Because it'd be, yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to take out a few minutes here and clean off all these pieces, and I guess it'll be more than a few minutes because they have to be painted as well. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I thought I'd already done that. I guess I was thinking of the other step. I got myself sort of a, you might say, a funny situation going on here. I got my MasterCard statement for transactions for last month, for the month of December. And here's what's happened. If you will recall, I think it was the very end of November, I had placed an order of paint with an outfit in Toronto. And at that time, I'd authorized them to use the extra postal service, or a better postal service. And I remember I had paid quite a bit extra for fast delivery. And as it turns out, somehow the shipment got screwed up, and the post office notifies me and says we can't deliver it. I think that's their exact words. We can't deliver it. So I'm thinking, what's going on? So I contacted the hobby store there in Toronto, and I was pretty miffed. And I sent them a copy of the what Canada Post had said. I think, all being well, you'll be looking at it right now. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit rude. I was a bit of a jerk, you might say, about it, But I was upset because here I paid a whole lot extra to have it delivered special fast, and then it gets completely screwed up to the point where it looked at that time like it was not going to get delivered. So the people in Toronto, this hobby store in Toronto, said, we'll refund you the money, which they did. As best I can remember, they did it that actual day. They refunded me the money. And so then what was it, about 3 days later, the package shows up at my door. First of all, the hobby store said, we'll get it back from Canada Post, because Canada Post said that's what's going to have to happen. So I think her name is Danila. Anyway, she said, we're going to get it back and so on, and we will refund you the money. So yeah, the refund came through, and then a few days later, the package actually shows up at my door. And now this one I'm going to have to really be careful how I hang on to it. Maybe I should use something a little bit, it's going to squeeze a little bit less. So anyway, my statement comes yesterday, and on the statement it shows the refund, but it doesn't show where they put it back on again. So I think in my email to them, I said, you've got my money and I've got nothing. Well, now here's a case of I've got their package and they've got nothing, and they've got no money. So I'm gonna have to contact them, I guess, and find out what is it that they want to do at this point. It'll be interesting to see. I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, now we got a really, really tiny one here. Really tiny. Well, it's not actually so tiny as it is fragile. And yeah, this is really fragile. I believe it's a handle for something. I'm just wondering how I can hold on to it, because what I'm going to want to do is paint just part of it. Or I wonder if maybe this is another one of those pieces that I should put on and then try and paint afterwards. No, I don't think so. The reason being is because it's going to be so close to whatever it's going to go on that I'll probably end up touching the, it's got to mount somewhere, something like this, I think. So yeah, I think I'll just paint one end and then let it dry and then paint the other end. Anyway, when something gets screwed up, boy, does it ever get screwed up. And I don't want the hobby store in Toronto to think that this guy in Winnipeg is just a real jerk, even though I acted like one when I contacted them the first time. And that's not the way I like to be. I like to be Mr. Nice Guy. Well, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. Now this one here, I think is going to get glued on flat on something. I better find out where it goes. Find out how much of this actually has to be. I can see here where there is a. It looks like a positioning slot. So it probably is going to go onto something. It's probably going to be visible on all sides. Okay, this is these other three pieces. They're already painted from before, but this one here, I'm just going to have to check into that. This, I mean. And as far as the hobby store in Toronto goes, I'll let you know what the outcome is. Probably tomorrow. I'll give them a call this afternoon. Okay, I found the place on the torpedo tube where this actually goes. It goes right on there. Something like this. Yeah, so you can see it sort of locks into place there. Now, would that be something I could paint afterwards? It'd be sort of sticking out. Maybe it might be a lot easier. Yeah, it might be a lot easier. And yet, on the other hand, is there a way I could grab this, almost the entire thing, Well, you know, the backside is not really going to be seen. Yeah, the backside is not really going to be seen that much. Yeah, so I maybe I could lay it on a piece of support it somehow from the back. Glue a little piece of plastic on right at the top. Yeah, why don't I see if I can glue a piece of plastic on it, really small. I don't know why I'm making a mountain out of a molehill here. Like, you know, this is a chance that this thing is not going to be seen at all. Well, I don't want to make the hole too big, or the pin will go right through. So we'll use this one right here. Now, my experience with these is that they break extremely easy. Extremely easy. So I'm going to put this in my Tamiya electric drill because I can handle it about the most gentle when it comes to electric drills. I know there's people who will say, why don't you put it in your pin vise and do it with your fingers? Well, my dexterity ain't what it used to be. Okay, now, how can I hold this down in such a way that I can drill the hole where I want it and you can still see what I'm doing? So I'm going to try and use one of Chris's file here. That should hold it down. And as long as I'm not blocking the light or your view. Now remember, you don't want to be pressing really hard. We're going to go up at an angle here in this. Let's get it started first. I think I went right through. I didn't want to go right through. All right, now is our pin going to want to stick in that hole? If I can pick it up. Okay, yeah, I went right through, didn't I? Well, I think probably the paint is going to fill that little hole. Okay, yeah. Well, I know you can't really tell from way back here, but there's a sheet of ice all over my car. Probably this thick. Right now, my neighbor's outside trying to scrape the ice off of her car. I guess she has to go somewhere. I don't know if I'd be wanting to go somewhere with, icy roads. It's a good thing the walkers came by early this morning because they sure wouldn't want to be trying to walk right now. I threw some sand out in front of my stoop, and yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna call her quits here for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. We made a little bit of progress. Any progress is still progress, right? So thanks for watching, and all being well, we're gonna see you tomorrow.